I promised my girlfriend that I'm going to meet her today afternoon, but I also have this website that I need to submit to the client by today. What do I do? Which one do I choose? But why not choose both? Today I'm going to show you exactly the tool that I use to make all of this possible, making a website while driving in the car. If you use Claude Code or any AI tooling agent, you know that the AI is the fast one. The slow one is me, because it takes time for me to put my thoughts into words, into the keyboard, and into Claude Code. I make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes Claude also doesn't understand what I'm saying. But to be frank, most of my best ideas don't come when I'm sitting down in front of the keyboard. It comes while I'm walking, while I'm driving, or when I'm actually creating something on the go. And this requires me to have something that I can communicate directly to build my ideas as fast as I can think them. I have tried many tools out there, but most of them only transcribes exactly what I say and not what I mean. I finally found something that understands me and can translate it into computer language for Claude Code to understand. The name of the tool is Typeless. Typeless is an AI voice keyboard that works on Mac, Windows, Android, and iOS. And the best part that I really like about it, that it just does not transcribe what I'm saying, but it understands what I mean. It's able to alter my words into stuff that are very actionable, structured, and easy for the computer to understand. So by pressing one button, I can activate the voice typing. What is 4 plus 4? Change that. What is 5 plus 5? You see what I mean? It's able to understand exactly what I mean. It reduces the amount of context that I send to Claude because it's now able to give clear instructions that Claude does not hallucinate anymore. So here's our setup for today. I actually have my laptop sitting on the passenger seat. It's running Claude Code. It has got Typeless installed in the background to transcribe whatever I say into Claude Code in a minimal context format. And here's the best part. I've actually wrote a custom script for Claude to send a hook to PowerShell to speak whatever Claude outputs. This way, I can go on a drive and speak to Claude and iterate on the feedback while we do it. So I'm just going to buckle up my laptop. Make sure it's super safe. Going to turn on the car and go for a drive. Are you ready? Because I am. I want you to build a simple website for my client. He is actually building a book sharing app called Bookmark. The app is super simple. It's for people to share the books that they have read, the books that they have, and also input the location of their whereabouts so other people can find them, borrow the book, or even buy them. I want this app to be built on React.js. I want to use Framer Motion. And before you get started, please ask me any amount of questions that you can, including like how many pages you want, but make sure that all the questions you ask me are in a chat format and they are numbered sequence. That way I can answer you sequentially and give you reference to what you're asking.
Happy to help build Bookmark. Before I start, I have some questions to make sure I build exactly what you need. 1. Is this a landing/marketing page to promote the app, a fully functional web app, where users actually sign up and use it, or both? 2. How many pages or sections do you need? For example, home, browse books, my shelf, user profile, about, etc. 3. Do you have a color palette?
Yeah, so I only need a landing page, right? I don't need a dashboard. I don't need a login page. I don't need pure functionalities. I just need a simple landing page for the client to build his website and test out his traffic. I need just a demo of place an input field to input their name, to input their email address, to receive any emails like early subscribers or like get in early or like sign up early to test out the site. I want good animations. I want to use a lot of logos inside. I want Framer Motion. I do not have a reference site, but I would go with how Kindle represents books. I think I would use that as a reference design. For color palette, I think for this one I would like it to be red and yellow, to be powerful, and like use comic book styles, comic book themes to make it very relevant. Use like sharp images and like lots of icons to make it super fun.
Great, that gives me a solid foundation. I have a few more targeted questions before I start building. 11. What sections should the landing page have? For example, hero, headline and CTA. How it works. Features/benefits. Early access sign-up form. Footer. Or do you have a different structure in mind? 12. You mentioned a lot of logos. Could you clarify? Do you mean?
Yeah, let's just do dummy forms for now. Here we can see a stark comparison between the original transcript of the words I said and the output generated by Typeless. The biggest difference I can see is that the output is super structured, right? It informs Claude Code what I am building, the features I want, the technology, and also how to give feedback to me. It breaks down exactly what I say and understands what I mean. Some mistakes that I have made, for example, I have mentioned that, and also the input of the location of their whereabouts. This Claude Code can easily confuse this and ask questions regarding whose whereabouts are we referring to, the book's whereabouts, the user's whereabouts, and this can create confusion and amount of tokens wasted. Another big difference is that the original transcription has 136 words. Typeless is 7% more efficient with 127 words. It saves a little bit of time and gives me creative freedom to make mistakes, to rewind what I say, and also saves amount of time that I can spend driving instead of just typing. Red light, let's check the progress. Okay, I guess Claude is doing its magic. Huge differences in the second transcript because I have made some critical mistakes to the prompts of my Claude Code. For example, I told Claude Code that I don't need pure functionalities. What does that even mean, right? Claude Code may not develop any functionalities at all. But thank God, Typeless fixed the whole thing. Instead, it changed the prompt towards my Claude Code and told him that it does not need any complex functionalities. So the basic functionalities are still in place. We just don't want any complex features. This small change may have developed, this small change may have changed the trajectory of the whole project completely. And one more thing that I really like is that it introduced the concept of aesthetics. Now notice that I've not used the word aesthetics or visuals in any of my original transcript. But here Typeless has broken it down and created a new segment called aesthetic with a subsection called visuals. This makes it more clear for Claude Code and saves the amount of context for it to think on what I actually mean. We notice that the original transcript has 176 words, whereas the one generated by Typeless has only 141. It's 20% more efficient in terms of context limits for Claude. And it also saves us a lot of time from potential mistakes that we could have made otherwise. This is why I just love Typeless. I also want you to add Carousel in the home page of a list of books. I want when the book is pressed, it goes to a book detail page. There we can see information about the book, like the description of the book from a public site, like maybe Google Reviews or Google Books or something like that. And also we can see like the name of the book, the APBN number, and who the author is. Go into the author detail page and see more about the author and see more books that he has written, and also populate the data with some lists of books. In the home page, I actually want to see a few of my favorite books, which are Things Fall Apart, The Third Circle Theory, and The Psychology of Money. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Here, it made a huge difference by detecting errors. For example, in this prompt, I originally referenced an APBN number. Now, I don't actually know what it was, but in my head, it sounds like something that books have, right? But Typeless actually used an AI to search the web and realized that APBN number does not have anything to do with books at all. Instead, books use something called the ISBN number. It's a unique identifier to detect one book from another. And this shows how smart the Typeless AI agent actually is. Because it's not only transcribing and trying to understand what I mean, but it's also able to search the web. It's able to detect whether the prompt makes sense or not. Another one is that it was able to break down the components of the books. Right? It told Claude exactly that it needs a name, ISBN, author, and description from a public site. This structured output prompt is very different from the original one that I gave. Originally, I told I want the detail page somewhere, then I mentioned about Google reviews somewhere, then I mentioned about author and about details page somewhere else. So in my mind, the flow of outcome was not structured, was not linear, and was not sequential. But Typeless is able to group them into segments that actually make sense. For example, one segment regarding book details, another segment regarding list of favorite books. Here it's able to identify the books correctly, like Things Fall Apart, Third Circle Theory, and Psychology of Money. And it's able to give the output in a very structured and creative format. I definitely saved a lot of time because instead of typing, I was spending the whole time driving to go to my girlfriend's house. The original transcript actually has 145 characters, whereas the typeless transcript has only 124. It's 15% more efficient. So that means we're using 15% less tokens when generating the prompts with Claude. We save money, we save time, and we make sure that the
The
outputs
site
are
is live at
exactly how we want them to be.
http://localhost 5173. Here's a full summary of what was built. Dash. What's included? Landing page. Slash. Fixed yellow nav bar with logo and NAV links plus join waitlist CTA. Hero section a Euro bold comic book headline with 6 animated floating book cards, Dune, 1984, The Alchemist, etc., and 2 CTAs. Book Carousel a Euro black panel showcasing your 3 books, Things Fall Apart, 3rd.
Perfect. Let's see exactly what I built. Oh, I like it already. It's so sharp. Share books, find friends. Very comic book, very retro style, very gaming style. I like the landing page, it's super powerful. And what's crazy enough is that we built this whole thing while just driving. Just as I reached, I was thinking of new other ways, new other features for this website to have for our client to enjoy. I've already integrated Typeless to my whole life. From replying to emails or drafting new things on Notion, or like even coming up with new ideas and jotting them down. I do everything using Typeless now. I actually don't think that the keyboard is going anywhere, but I feel like productivity is changing because now you don't have to be tied to the desk anymore. If you would like to try it, I've added the link in the description below. Go ahead and tell me what you build with it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content regarding AI and automation, and see you in the next one.